Good morning. So we're mostly packed up. It's day 51. It's a bit later than we wanted to. My alarm went off at 5 and neither of us slept very well. I didn't remember to take any melatonin or any sleep aids last night, and the bridge was super loud. Partially because there's a train that comes through here, like a full-blown train, that is incredibly loud. So my alarm goes off at 5 and Corey just like hunkers down even further, and so I'm like, all right, whatever. I got up at 5:30 and just kind of slowly started, like I read for a little while and then started to set up or break down rather. And yeah, so we've just been meandering our way through the morning, getting our stuff all packed away, and now we're eating breakfast. Since we have a trash here, which is amazing, and thank you so much to whoever maintains the I-10 Oasis. It's fantastic, and it is so appreciated. But yeah, we are hoping to do about 10 miles today, but we'll just see how it goes. It's all sandy, and this stretch apparently is just rough. So the hope is 10, but we'll see what we're able to manage. We are definitely hoping to start picking up the pace a little, like little by little. Just because it's going to start being needed. This is a 55-mile stretch. The one after it, I think, is like a 70-something mile stretch. I know further up the trail we have one stretch that's over 100 miles, so we need to start picking up the pace, and we are aware of it. So that's kind of the goal, is to really start pushing that a little bit. Yeah. I think that's really the only update we have this morning. Corey had an amazing The Trail Provides experience. He's been having some problems with uploading a video, and he cannot, like the last couple of town stops, he's left town with less than a full battery, both on his phone and on his brick. Partially because we have a tendency of staying in Airbnb or a motel or whatever the first night we're in town, and then like the second night we're in town we move to a campground or something where there's no outlets, which isn't the best way to do something. But this time he was plugged in pretty much right up until we got out of the Uber. He even asked the Uber driver if he could use the little plug, and the guy's like, yeah, sure. But he's having video upload issues, and so we get up this morning and he's like, hey, and I see him walking around looking at, talking to the other hikers. Apparently he found a solar charger here, and there's a big hiker box, and there's just kind of stuff hanging out that people have left behind here. But so he found like a decent sized solar charger, like brick. And so he runs over to some of the other hikers and he's like, is this yours? And they're like, no, it's not ours. So he's looking around, and we're the only ones here at the moment. So whoever it was either went to town or, went up the trail. So, and it wasn't here last night, and nobody came in from town. So it had to have been somebody who stayed here last night. But yeah, so he's gonna carry it and use it, and it was kind of exactly what he needed at the moment. So yeah, Trail Provides. We've seen several instances of that statement being a very true thing out here. We had heard it before we came out here, just Trail Provides, and we're like, all right, but
not like we doubted, but damn.
Well,
it's like someone's walking along going, what do you need? Well, I'll take your order. Extra fries? Extra power? How many milliamps?
but yeah, so it's just kind of an interesting thing that's a very real thing that happens on trail. But yeah, so checked the fire report this morning, and as of like 7:30 last night, which is the last time the report got updated, the fire was 60% contained, and it was down from 3 acres to 0.6 acres, I believe. So looks like it's being contained, and there's still no warnings for PCT hikers for up ahead, so we're just gonna keep powering through. It's supposed to, here in Cabazon, it's supposed to be partially sunny today and tomorrow, and then rain. In Big Bear, it's supposed to rain all week. So we are probably going to get soaked at some point in this stretch. But for now, it is cool and partially sunny, so we're gonna enjoy that and hopefully get as far as we can today. So I will check in down the road. So it's about 9:30 and we're, I don't know, less than a mile into trail. It's been an eventful morning.
It's been a social morning, really.
It has. So we were packing up, and we finished breakfast, and we were packing up and just about to head out when a woman drove up, parked her car, and started carrying a bunch of bags in. And she was an amazing trail angel. She came in, took out the trash, picked up some of the area, picked up the recycling, and supplied a little more water and supplied some sodas to the cooler. So big thank you to her. We sat down and talked with her for a little while, and while we were talking to her, she went, uh-oh. And so Corey and I turned around, and there was a police car who didn't park it at the road and walk down like she did. He actually drove his patrol car up underneath the bridge and got out of his car, and we're like, uh-oh. So we greeted him, and apparently he was looking for a hiker who's
Dennis, we're looking for you.
apparently his name is Dennis. His trail hiking partner lost contact with him
14 hours before.
Yeah, lost contact with him 14 hours before that point, and expected him to get off the mountain
The day before.
yeah, like the day before, and he never showed and couldn't get a hold of him. So he was going through the logbook, asking us some questions, and so that was unfortunate. And then after he kind of got everything he needed, he was asking us about our hike, and he was like, you do realize it's going to be storming for the next week? And we're like, we know. Which we are watching some darker clouds on the horizon kind of come towards us, so and then as soon we're like, okay, time to pack up. So we said goodbye to the police officer, and we said goodbye to the trail angel, and we started packing up. And then a bunch of hikers came in, and so we were sitting there chit-chatting with them and talking about this next stretch, and they had questions about resupply in Cabazon area. And so it was just kind of a very social morning, and we didn't get out when we had hoped. So pretty windy, might start raining in a few, it kind of looks like it. So we're just going as far as we can. We still have hopes for 10 miles, but we'll see. Thankfully,
You walk into video.
thankfully we do have enough food that if we have to hunker down and do like a trail zero or something just because the weather's so bad, we definitely can. So it's just going to be about making miles and staying warm, I think. But yeah, so thankfully we are on trail. Packs are super heavy, but manageable. We were told by the amazing trail angel that we should stay on the lookout for bighorn sheep because apparently they are everywhere in this area, especially once we get up towards the windmills, or the wind turbines, whatever. So yeah, that should be fun. So, all right, I'll check in as we go. Very tiny on camera, but there is a desert hare. Not the tiny little bunnies that we've been seeing, but an actual hare up ahead on trail. He's a big guy. Oh, and there's a bunny right there. So apparently they're all over the place. They're so pretty.
Oh, okay, that's because we walk around there.
Welcome to section C. A and B done. Always what you like to see when you're about to enter an area. So, we're walking through this section and it's beautiful, but it's like desert hills, cacti, sunburned trees, lots of rocks, lots of sand, and scattered throughout it are warning hazard signs and PCT signs, both old and new, and abandoned trucks, and we've seen a partially burned house and some just refuse. And up above us is the wind farm, so all of these big wind turbines. And I'm walking through it and I'm like, I'm getting a vibe and I can't figure out what vibe that is. And I was like, oh, Fallout. This feels like Fallout. It looks like Fallout. And I have the only Fallout I've ever played is, I think, 3. And so I was just like, well, that's fun. And Corey's like, should this worry me? And I'm like, no.
Said yeah.
But so as we're walking, we're like, that's a weird sound. What is that sound? There's some sort of alarm, and it sounds all warped and wobbly and a little weird. And it's coming from the wind farm up above us. So I'm like, well, that's rather fitting. Just some weird broken alarm in this Fallout setting. So it was just a rather funny observation. It's about 10:40-ish, and we've gone, I think, just over 3 miles so far. So not bad progress today. The trail has been pretty easy, gradually uphill, some gradual downhill. cloudy today. And we look up because we keep seeing this like big, well, it looks like a storm front coming our way. But there's no storm front in the morning. There's no, like, it's not supposed to rain. It's not supposed to do anything today. And so we were looking, and we think it's honestly just like smog and dirt and haze. But it's nice and cool with all the wind. But yeah, feeling pretty good. The bags are stupid heavy, and so my legs are kind of hurting, but a lot of that's going to be eaten soon, so I'm not too worried about it. Alright, probably should keep going before one of these wind turbines falls on us or something. Or it explodes because there's an alarm going off. Alright, I'll check in as we go. So I'm really sad I didn't get the chance to get this on camera. I'm sitting here taking a very quick break, having a snack, and Corey's off using the facilities, and so I'm just sitting here hanging out, and I was looking down at at my snack trying to open it, and all of a sudden something flies in front of my face, and I look up, and hovering like right over my phone, over my leg, flying in front of my face, and just kind of, you know, fighting the wind and just kind of sitting right here, was a gigantic moth. It makes the one that I found and held and like got to safety, it makes the one in Warner Springs look tiny. This was like as big as a hummingbird, and I'm not exaggerating. I could see its eyes and its like mouth and everything while it was flying around. It was easily easily the size of a hummingbird. It was huge. So I just sat there like kind of stunned, trying to figure out how to grab my phone, which it was flying over, without startling it away, and I just didn't manage. By the time I was able to like grab my phone at all, it had flown away. So very sad about that. It was all brown and had like different shades of brown and some gray in there as well, and it was just beautiful. A big fuzzy body, but seriously just like huge. I've never seen moths that huge. So fun times. Swallowed a bug.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to leave the bridge and
Yeah.
you missed you didn't go to Black Desert or whatever it's called.
No, I saw it, but it didn't go in.
Impressed we can see the trail heading up at all. So getting to the end of our climb for the day. It's been pretty gradual, but we have actually climbed a fair amount, and looks like we're heading towards that saddle right there. You can see the trail towards the top, and then we're going down, and then we go up a little bit, and then we go down again. So we've done a little over 5 miles so far, and we only have about 5 to go if we camp when we're gonna camp. Pack is heavy, and I can tell I am huffing and puffing like we were doing something strenuous. And my low back kind of hurts where the pack is sitting. My feet are kind of hurting, so I am eating as much as I possibly can and hoping to get rid of some of that weight. But otherwise, we're doing quite good. Just plugging through the day. We took a nice siesta, and now we're back to it. Alright, so we've been climbing for a little while. It's not too late in the day, still early afternoon. And we found some shade, just a little bit. So we decided to take a quick break. We're not taking too many. I'm stopping to catch my breath a bit today. But we aren't like taking breaks a whole lot. I think we've taken only like
I think we just had a lunch break.
3 today,
I don't think
including this one.
had more than one break that was more than like 5 minutes.
No, I mean, they've been short. We've had our lunch break, which was probably 30 minutes to an hour. And then I stopped not far down the hill to like lay down and decompress my back a little bit. And that's what we're doing now. So I'm doing fine. Just we're climbing and my pack is heavy. So just trying to drink all my water and trying to eat all my food. And it is hot, and I think that's a big thing about I think that's a big contributor right now because it is quite warm, and we're hiking through the heat of the day, which probably isn't helping, but we want to...
The desert's a thing.
That it is. And we want to kind of power through some miles before we hit Mission Creek, which is supposed to be just nothing but a nasty slog. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We've been seeing some people pass by, been leapfrogging this woman Lunchbox, who had taken a break here in the shade, and we walk up and she's like, I'm gonna keep walking, you guys should sit down and enjoy the shade. So but yeah, it's been a good day so far. I think we're both feeling decent, other than I'm just tired and carrying too much food.
We're good. First day out food. It's hot.
Yeah. So we hear that not far from here, I think it's like we're at mile like 215 or so, and I think at mile like 220 or something, we have our first
I think we enter Mission Creek there.
Yeah,
I could be wrong,
but it's our first like full water crossing. Apparently it's kind of a river, and with all of the snow melt this year and everything, like, we're hearing from other hikers that it's supposed to be swift and, you know, all kinds of fun. But Corey apparently heard that it's not.
it's like under knee height.
Yeah.
Swift but short.
So that should make it a little easier. Obviously, if it can be helped, you don't want to do water crossings that are above the knee, because then you lose control. But
that's where it actually starts getting dangerous.
yeah,
Up to the hip and you're in trouble.
Let's hope it's not bad. If we hit our, if it is in the Mission Creek area, we should be camping not far, like, before that, which means we should be able to hit that water crossing in the morning, which is ideal. So yeah, it's kind of what we're doing and where our mind's at right now. We're losing all the good views other than the immediate hills around us, because the haze is just insane today.
You're Good chance though we cross that next one when we see Gorgonio.
Cool. But yeah, so good day. It's hot. So I'm gonna drink some water and eat some food. Almost to the top. Made it to the top. And down we go.
Counts for Australia because I love you, Australia. At least the people from there.
We're going up and over. The terrain today has just been absolutely stunning, and it has changed so much. So I know I said, like, coming down from San Jacinto, that we were like going through the Whitewater Preserve or something, but I was wrong. There was a sign that made us think that that was the case, but this is, we're heading towards the Whitewater Preserve, and this is just beautiful. You know, it is like gonna get super washed out and messy tomorrow, but so far the terrain has been awesome, and you cannot argue with these views. We're about 2.5 miles from camp. So unless we find a really stellar campsite sooner, and it would have to be something like crazy awesome for us to stop. We're definitely gonna hit 10 miles today, and I have to say, so earlier I was having some low back problems. Corey and I stopped and suddenly realized that, hey, we are body workers, which means we can do something about that. And apparently it took us a little while for either of us to remember that.
So we took a break. He worked on me and I've been feeling much better ever since. So yeah, we're both feeling pretty good. Our feet are starting to ache just a little bit because there's been a lot of uphill, downhill, rocks, you know, the usual. But we're both feeling really good. It's probably been, we left camp late this morning and it's about 5 o'clock right now, and we took probably about 4 breaks throughout the day. The longest being, I think, an hour, the shortest being 5 minutes. We've taken, you know, short 1 to 2 minute breathers and stuff, but only 4 or 5 official breaks throughout the day. So we're actually making like decent time today. And we're just quite happy with today's progress, and it wasn't all downhill like after Fuller Ridge. It's been quite a bit of elevation gain and loss today, so no, we're feeling quite good, feeling quite happy with our progress. We know that Mission Creek is probably going to slow us way down, just because apparently it's slowing everyone down. But yeah, it's just been an awesome day. Well, time to get into camp.
Absolutely crazy. That is a pretty nice spot.
Yeah,
Not 100% flat, but totally sheltered.
we want to take it?
What's the mileage like?
Let me look. All right, so we got down to essentially the Whitewater Preserve, and there's just tons of camp spaces, and there's a bunch of people that we've been kind of leapfrogging today, and we were gonna push on. We have 1 more mile until the official camp, but all the spaces are super nice, and there's, you know, people and there's water to like soak our feet, and a lot of people are swimming. So Corey and I were like, we need to push. Like, we passed by a really nice tent site and we're like, no, we need to keep pushing. We need to push 1 more mile, need to keep going, and, you know, make it through. And then we turned the corner and we're like, never mind, here's camp. Bugs everywhere. Evening. So, so there's technically a camp, like an official camp, 1 mile up the trail, but there's tons of spots all over here.
There's a wide open flat soft spot along the river that could fit like 10 tents. It's just a matter of if you want a little bit of wind, maybe more if it's in the middle of the night near the river, but there's plenty of spaces.
But I mean,
right past
there's
those.
tons of little trails and stuff and tons of campsites, so. So instead of doing the 10 miles, we decided to camp, and so we're about 9 miles for the day. But we're gonna set up camp real quick and probably go soak our feet / swim. and then have dinner and chill. So, all right. I will probably check in before we...
I should rent my shirt.